The book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 24 says, "For this reason I am telling you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe, trust, and be confident that it is granted to you, and you will get it." And I'll be quite honest with you already. It's pretty early. Right now it's currently 4:52 in the morning, and by the time you're seeing this, it's gonna be on a Thursday, I believe. I'm shooting for Thursday. I wanna try to do things different. Possibly aim for 2 messages a week. It's more work on my end, but glory be to God. I believe that I believe that it's gonna be worth it. And it's still early too, cause I still have my retainer in my mouth. So please forgive me. I feel like I don't look the most presentable, but thank God we woke up this morning and we're able to do this. So I'm pretty excited. I want to talk from another revelation God gave me entitled "God Did It." Now I usually have notes. I usually have something put together, but again, this is truly coming from the heart, and I believe that God is trying to reach out to somebody in need right now. Because when I got this revelation, I was actually on my way to school, and I was just listening to music. Like I changed my playlist a lot over the years, so I found now a lot of good Christian artists. Caleb Gordon, Alex Jean, 1K Few, Richard Famous, like all these great artists, and then elevation music. I believe the Spirit was just talking to me about how God changed me over the years, and I just want to let everybody know with this kind of change, like this wasn't an overnight change. This was a process that needed to be made and this process of change needed to be go through in order for me to get to where I am today. And I just remember looking back on days where, I used to pray for peace, and I used to pray for purpose, and I used to pray asking God, like, is this really the only reason that I live? Because I was so caught up in my own lifestyle of sin, going back and forward from one place to another, and it was super repetitive, and I just knew that there had to be more than this when it comes to life. And so when I prayed that prayer, it did get answered eventually. It really did. And I'll be honest with you. And my mentor, if he's gonna be watching this video, he's gonna watch this video and remember these times too, because it was around before the pandemic happened in 2020. A little bit after that, like 2019, 2018, like I was still going to church. I was still active in church before the pandemic happened. And I was mainly going to like the teens ministry now. I was a teen at the time. I'm 23 years old now, but if he's watching this, he'll remember. And I remember when I was just in the middle of my sin, my lifestyle, just thinking I had everything I wanted, but I wasn't at peace. I remember at the end of each message that my mentor taught, because my mentor is my mentor is actually my youth pastor. He will always do the appeals, right? Like, if you never gave your life to Jesus, if you need prayer requests. And I remember, man, I wanted help so bad. Because I felt so empty on the inside. I really did. And so when he made those appeals for prayer requests, giving your life to Jesus, when I was bold enough to actually stand up out of my seat and go to the front, I did. I remember the first time I did it. I remember the second time I did it. I remember the third time I did it. And there was a pattern taking place that I didn't even realize that needed to take place, because each time he made those appeals, I'd be the first one up. And sometimes, most of the times, I'd be the only one up there because I needed help. those appeals for prayer requests, I needed help. And I was up there first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, first Sunday again, third Sunday again. Second Sunday again, third Sunday. And I kept getting up wanting help for me because I needed the help. I needed the help for something that I didn't even understand was going on with me. Like I'm wanting prayer, and I'm trying to believe in the power of prayer. But it's difficult when you don't see the changes instantly. And, it gets difficult believing when you don't see change instantly. But change is taking place. You just have to understand that you're going through the process right now. Like when I was going up, prayer request after prayer request after prayer request, and I'm talking to the different partners in the ministry, and they're praying over me, and I'm telling them what's going on. Yo, like this is going on, that's going on. And they took their time with me. God used them well to take care of me, And I'm thinking about it now. It's like, okay, how could God love somebody like me for real? I made my own decisions. I made my own choices. Why would he do so much for me? And going back to what I was saying, I remember just constantly going up and being the only one up there who sought help. I was seeking help for something I did not understand. But I'm here to let somebody know, bro. Like, God did it. God did it for real. God did it for real. He changed me. He gave me what I was asking for in the most unexpected way possible. He changed me. God did that, bro. God did that. Nobody else has the capability of changing me the way that God has. And it's crazy thinking about how far I've came from then now. This is 2025. I'm talking about, man, that was about to be 10 years ago. In the sense, like in a couple more years from now, that's about to be 10 years ago. Back then, that was 2027, 2028, 2029. Pandemic happened. But when church opened back up, I was still coming. More doors opened up. After I gave my life to Christ in 2021, it's just the blessings start rolling in, bro. And I'm a living witness and testimony here to tell you, bro, when you give your life to Christ, things change for you, bro. Whether you realize it or not, they do. They really do. I remember when the process was taking place and I didn't even understand. Again, me going back to when I used to be in the teens ministry, I would always go back up for the prayer request. And I'd be the only one up there. Those same people who prayed over me are those same people that I still talk to every now and then. Of course, life is life, and as a young adult, I'm adulting right now, trying to figure things out. I'm trying to manage this business, trying to manage the channel, the gaming channel, my job, school. I'm doing a lot, man, and I'm trying to work on being consistent right now, but God sent those people in my life for a reason, man, and it's all worth it. And see, another thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to that is the persistence of change. It's still not an overnight process, but if you really want things to change for your life, you have to be persistent. And when you change in one area, you change in a whole lot of different areas too. Like, for example, when I gave my life to Christ, when I was seeking God more, my language about myself started to change. Then before you know it, my language started to change overall. Like, I didn't always have the best amount of confidence in myself, I feel like, of course, I have to be realistic. Like, I'm not the best looking guy in the room. I could be the funniest for sure. I could be the funniest. I can definitely maybe even be the shortest in the room. I'm not that tall, about 5'4". But I have to start thinking different about myself, especially to the person about to who I used to be back then, because I didn't even think that there was a chance for me. I didn't know what my purpose was, what I wanted to do in life. And then Jesus came in the picture, and all of that changed, bro. All of that changed. I remember, bro, when I used to curse like a sailor, bro. It sounded like my grandpa, which was not good, because I couldn't make any real relationships that way, always talking down on people, cursing, like you never know what that does to a person, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to bash anybody who does curse, but watch your mouth, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know who's in the room. I remember when I gave my life to Christ, bro, the more my love for Jesus increased, the more hatred for sin grew at that same time. And it got to a point where, once I was cursing like a sailor, but the next minute, bro, like, you probably won't hear me say another curse word ever. Does that make me perfect? God, no. Absolutely not. It doesn't make me perfect, but that's change. And only God can do that. And that's something I've been praying for, bro. I didn't realize that me praying to God about wanting peace would give me this type of change. I didn't realize that praying for peace and purpose would give me this type of change in my life. Because I'll even tell people now, bro, like, my life has been a domino effect full of blessings since I gave my life to Christ. And little by little, those dominoes fell, bro. Like, it's one door after the other. I think also the biggest blessing in it all is my change from being obedient to myself and what my flesh wants to now obeying what God wants me to do. That's also a big change, bro. Obedience plays a significant part in your change, right? Like, you don't listen to yourself when you're trying to chase God. Because sometimes you get in your head, you start talking to yourself, you may think you want this, you may think you want that, and that's not the way to go. Stop talking to yourself. You're weird, buddy. Nah, I'm kidding. But you can't keep talking to yourself, especially about certain stuff, because you may actually convince yourself. And what's crazy is that sometimes when you do convince yourself to do certain things, or you give in to certain things, the devil's just in the background. He watching. Like, he don't even need to do anything, because you so caught up in your own head. He's just like, oh, you got it. Like, now he weird too. I don't even need to try to tempt him. He tempted himself, But I just gave him the bait, Like, for example, going back to change. Somebody type change in the comments, bro. I see everybody's been active in the comments. I love it. I love seeing the comments, by the way. Thank y'all so much for all the support that I've been getting recently. We've been growing on this channel. Started from like 37 to 37 the other week to now 63, 64. So I'm really excited to see this change, bro. I really pray that God continues to bless you all and we continue to see growth, So I'm real excited. But somebody type change in the comments, bro, because this is gonna help somebody. I remember at that time when I was praying for peace and purpose, and I gave my life to Christ October 23rd. It was either 23rd or it was 28th. I just remember between those two dates because my folks went out of town at that time, and I had an encounter with Jesus. Now, after I had my encounter with Jesus, I left my situation behind, and that's where everything started changing. A couple months later, I fell short. But see, the enemy tempted me with something that he knew I liked. The enemy tempted me with something that he knew that I liked and would have a very difficult time to try to resist. especially when it's pressing up on me, you know what I'm saying? And just to give you a hint of what I was struggling with, I was a very lustful person. I had a lot of lust in my heart, and I still do, but thank God for the Holy Spirit, because now we have self-control, you know? And with all this lust in my heart, you know, I fell short. Lusted after a woman after a couple months, and yeah, I fell short bad, man. But it was all part of the process. It was all part of the process. Now, let me tell you the beautiful thing about it, because when I fell short the first time, I didn't feel bad, right? But it had me thinking. I'm like, okay. They were saying that they wanted me for this, they wanted me for that, but it wasn't true. They didn't want me for any of those things. They wanted me for their own benefit, right? Fast forward, a couple more months passed by. I fell short again. This time, I was deeper into thought. I'm like, is he even worth it anymore? Is having my own satisfaction even worth it anymore? Right? And then after that time, bro, I haven't fell short since then. And again, I'm not perfect, but you have to be able to go through that process of change. And guess what? Only God can do that. The thing about change is that people won't notice that you've changed until they see the changes, right? So you have to get through the process of change in order for people to see that you have changed. Again, me, I used to curse like a sailor, bro. Now, sometimes I hang out with people around me who swear every now and then, and they may say something and they'll be like, "Nah, say that," like try to get me to curse. And now, like I'll always probably say like a funny censored version of it, or you know, I won't give in to actually saying the word, because I know the power in words. You know, it's dangerous. I don't care if it's a joke or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know who's listening. But nobody noticed the change that I was going through until they saw it. And when people see change on you, you can only rejoice, because you already know that God did that, bro. So going back to the scripture of the day, for the reason that I'm telling you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe, trust, and be confident that it is granted to you, and you will get it. I got what I was asking for, man. I really did. I really got what I was asking for. And I'm happy. I've been the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. I feel purposeful. I feel fulfilled. And this is what I needed. And I'm here to let you know that only God can do it. He did it. God did it. Yes, he did. And now I'm sitting before all of you as a living testimony, just sharing the goodness of God, bro. Like, I never thought my life would be like this. And man, I don't care about getting famous or anything like that, whether it's in my gaming channel or whether it's in this ministry channel, you know, because this is ministry to me, bro. As long as I help see people see God, that's all I care about. I don't really care about likes. I don't really care about, followers, the fame that comes with, trying to build this business online and all sorts of stuff. Like, I just want people to see God, bro. I really do. And I want you to see that only God can do it. I love you all. Thank you for watching this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, do what you need to do. And wherever you decide to watch this from, please share the content just so other people will be able to see it. And with that being said, I love you all. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Peace, man.